What am I forgetting? Microphone check. Check 1, 2. Into the microphone. Microphone check for you. Alright, light is on. That thing is clicked. Oh, Ripley, there's always something. There's always something. Thing is plugged in. It's everything, right? Right? Pencil, family marker. Definitely didn't fill up the water pens, but we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. Alright, Pretzel. Take a little break. Take a little break from your music. I'm gonna click over here and then we'll see what this little intro button does. Hey Ripley. Meow, 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 meow. Yeah. No, start the show. Press the intro button. Thank you.
Tell your friends, and tell your hot mom. There's no such thing as grownups.com.
Gamer 1. Oh, why won't you white balance? Anyway, this bright white thing is me! My name is Curtis, and this is no such thing as Grownups Live. This thing's gonna fall. Hello, Space Scooty, and everyone out there. And of course, as always, Ripley is making everything work behind the camera. None of this stuff really exists. It's all just green screen and animation. And, where's my camera? And yeah, if I get, actually, if I do this right up in the camera, there we go, it gets a little white balance, and see? Normal-ish, and then, and I realized the reason is probably because everything is so red in the background, and, that's how things go. Good day, Patrick. Oh, hey, Mana. So how are you? What? Who is saying Flav? But, I just saw a P name, but once I read it for a second. Yeah, same spot, same everything. I just threw some red panels up on the windows to class it up, so it's not all, a bunch of random stuff. And my head is getting phlegmy as I talk. Yay, winter. Anyway, I already started drawing a little bit here from some references. I'll do some erasing and some markering. But mostly, oh yeah, the notes are over there. But I'm pretty sure I could do most of the things without the notes because we got a lot of talk. We have a lot of things to talk about, guys. So many things to talk about. I don't even know which one to start with. But it was Christmas time, and I went home and saw people and heard stories. And some things are just stories just by existing. And we have to discuss all those things. Plus, there's a whole bunch of other stuff on my list over there that's just like, that's crazy. This is crazy. Let's go to our page. It's still a little light, but I think I'll do some ink lines on this for once. And then go back in with colors. So we're not just sitting here in fadedness for an hour like we do sometimes. But right off the beginning, right at the start, I'm up here in this corner, right up on this at the start of Christmas vacation. Where's my pencil? Here. I get home. I get to my mom's house, I should say, and it's like Christmas Eve when I get there. And she's like, "Oh yeah. Anyway, I guess I should tell you, on the news last night or earlier today or whatever it was, there was a shooting. Like some guy shot at a bunch of people, and just over Sydney Mines, 5 minutes from here. Place where we're gonna go 2 nights from now to pick up your aunt. Probably just down the street from your aunt's where your aunt lives. Anyway, there was a shooting." And they never caught anybody. They never caught the guy. But they know who he is, where he lives, everything about him. But yeah, the newspaper basically just says, if you do see this specific guy, don't approach him. He probably won't do anything or whatever, but just don't approach him. Tell the proper authorities. Blah, 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 blah. And my mom was like, but I don't know who this guy is or whatever. Like, do you know who this guy is? And I don't know anybody from back home. Like, I don't know anybody. I didn't know anybody when I was there. And, the few people I do know, they usually know everybody. I'm like, no. I was like, but, I was like, this name definitely sounds familiar. And he's my age. Like, he's only a year older than me, so we either did cross some sort of path in school at some point, and or Amanda knows him. Amanda being Pinamander over here. So of course I'm just like, whatever. Like, I don't know anything. My mom doesn't know anything at this point. The news didn't really say much, but I'm like, whatever. I was like, I'll go see Amanda later, and she will definitely know exactly what's the deal here. And she's like, well, the one thing they did have was he was known to the victims, or he knew the victims, so it wasn't just like, hey, I'm just randomly running around shooting people. I got a reason, so go to Amanda's place, and she's like, oh yeah, like remember last summer or whenever it was, like remember that homeless guy got beat up until he pretty much died, and then he died behind the mall. Like, vaguely remember somebody mentioning like that, but no, I don't keep up with the beating news of back home. But yeah. Anyway, so somebody was beaten to death by whatever it was, 2 or 3 people. Like, yeah. So the people that beat that guy to death, they went over to the shooter's house and they took his Christmas. They just took everything from under the tree. Maybe they took the tree as well. I'd like to picture that, but that's probably not true. But they took his Christmas, and he owned a gun. So when somebody takes your Christmas, I mean, we've all seen movies. If somebody comes into your house and takes your Christmas, and their heart does not grow 3 to 5 sizes bigger before Christmas morning, you're probably going to take your gun over to their house, especially if you know who it was, and they're just like, hey, look at us. Check out what we stole for Christmas. We're wicked proud of it, probably, because we're definitely out of our minds. So he, of course, went over and shot at them. Maybe he didn't want to kill them. Maybe it was just that classic, like, hey, no, I'm just going to shoot at you, like, to scare you, because that's fun. Because, that's what people do. Ooh, that can't be true, Kurt. Why do I talk to myself? Why do I talk to myself? That can't be true at all. People don't just shoot at people just for fun. Who would ever do that, such a thing? Who's ever been shot just for fun? Where's the text box on the screen? How come I don't see the text box? What happened to it? Is it underneath something? Did you do something wrong? Are you clicking away right now while you're trying to also fill the chatting times? I don't see the word chat box. There it is there. Is it visible? It was invisible. Okay, now you're done with that. Now you can answer my question, whatever that was. Well, I've been so wholeheartedly rambling. That cannot be true. The thing about the shooting at the people. Who shoots at people? Who shoots at people? Who shoots at people? Who shoots at people? Your relatives, usually, or your friends. Or your friends. Did you ever go into the woods with your friends after they've gotten a BB gun? Or a pellet gun? you're getting shot. Especially if you're like the one who's the most afraid of getting shot, you're getting shot. At least shot at. At least shot at. Avocado shakes, everyone stupid avocado shakes, then they get a gun. Because one guy, what was his reason? His reason was, oh no, Curtis, like, your jacket is so thick. Look at how thick this jacket is. Like, a pellet is not even going to go through this jacket. Well, then, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Just for the thrill of shooting at a human being? No! I'm not going to shoot at you. I don't want anybody to shoot at anybody. Why don't you carry on with your targets? Maybe I'll join in with the target shooting, but I definitely don't need to be a target. Like, no. Your jacket is, like, so thick. Like, we won't be able to get through this jacket. We're going to shoot at you anyway, so either let us do it, or it'll be just as much fun to kind of hunt you in the woods. Like, weren't you my friends 9 minutes ago? Like, yeah. But once you get out into the woods with a gun, you get a little crazy. You get a little bit crazy, I guess. So yeah. I hid behind a tree. I get shot in the shoulder with a pellet gun. Little kid thick jackets aren't actually that thick. Still just pop right through the layers. And ow! I just got shot in the arm. I get shot in the arm and I can't even go home and be like, hey, I got shot in the arm. What do I do? Because then it's like, well, you can't tell anybody. Well, of course I can't tell anybody. We're idiot kids in the woods. And you'll get your gun taken away. But turns out after school specials, that was the right answer. Should have had their guns taken away. And of course the other one was my cousin, just like Zero. Who was fully just like No, like, no, it's just funny. It's just a funny thing that I'm doing. Like, it's just like if I only cock it back halfway, it doesn't load a BB, and then it's just like, ooh, are you gonna get shot? No, but I'm super good at not loading a BB, but make it look like I'm loading a BB. Like, yeah. I've said that before too when I've accidentally broken somebody's toys. And then I get shot in the butt with a BB. And then, of course, the pleading begins of like, you can't tell anybody. You're like, you can't tell anybody. Oh my God, don't tell anybody. You'll probably get in trouble too. Like, oh, okay, I'll believe that. Like, I'll do anything. I'm too stupid to ask for anything. Like, I just want to not be in pain anymore. You're just a teenager. You can do nothing for me. So this guy went and shot those people, or shot at those people. And I went from, being at my mom's place and her being like, but, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Somebody's running around. Like, if this guy isn't running around with a gun, somebody else is anyway. So I can't just be around or sitting here being afraid. Like, oh my God, like, that's amazing. That's great. Because, you don't want to be afraid of things all the time. And, my mom is, like me, afraid of things all the time. So it's like, yeah, that's great that you're not. That's awesome. That's a great little breakthrough. And it's fantastic. Like, and yeah, I guess I won't be specifically afraid of this guy shooting at me while I'm home for Christmas. But the logic there is technically like, again, like it's the meteor logic or meteorite logic of, don't go walking around worrying about meteorites because the odds are so low. You might as well worry about anything and everything falling out of the sky and hitting you because, it's the same odds all the time. So it's like, yeah, like this one guy isn't going to shoot me because the odds of so many other people shooting me are up there. So it's like, if you're already not taking too much time to worry about those guys, don't worry about any guys. It's all good. Have a Merry Christmas. Like, okay. It's, can't disagree. That logic is sound. That is basically how I how I think about everything else. Really should have grabbed my notes. So, what else happens for Christmas? Oh, speaking of remembering movies, Ohuapo, um, pretty much the most TV that I watch is when I go home for Christmas. Like I don't really turn on regular TV. I don't know what's going on in any TV shows. I don't know any of the pieces in a Game of Thrones. Pretty sure I got a replacement for this marker, but whatever that is, I don't know. Um, but yeah, there's always a point through the holidays where it is like, all right, we're just waiting to go somewhere or get ready to go somewhere. And my family has this like Boxing Day party that we go to, and it's the highlight of the holidays, I think. And just sitting around getting ready to get ready, and then the TV's like, The Breakfast Club is up next, or The Breakfast Club is on. And my mom was like, ooh, like in my head, I'm like, ooh, I love that movie, I think, still, probably. Like, that would be a fun one to watch right now, I guess. And, but odds are, my mom is going to be like, stupid, and click. Because everything else that came up on the TV that I'm like, ooh, in my head, she was like, stupid. And I'm like, oh yeah, like we're very different people. Again, nothing wrong with that at all. Maybe you should be somewhat different from your mom. Because I definitely didn't know they were rebooting Mad About You. So like the Mad About You commercial came on. Well, first it's like black and white or whatever it is, image of the Buckman apartment. I'm just like, I recognize, like, I know this Unix system. This is definitely the Buckman apartment. That's crazy. I wonder what they're doing there. And then the door slowly opens and it's the Buckmans. And I'm like, oh my God, like that's really Paul Reiser and Helen Hunt. And somewhere in me, I'm just like, huh? Like almost on the verge of like looking to the other person in the room, which is my mom, and going like, eh? Our friends are back. Like, it's like how everyone's excited about Friends, except it's my real friends. Paul Reiser, the documentary maker, and his wife that hates him. Whatever's going on in that household, or every NBC sitcom household. But I'm just like, oh, awesome. But before my face could show any of my interest, or I could, look around the room to find an agreeing party to my Mad About Ewing, my Mad About Patrick Ewing show. My mom was already just like, that was stupid when it was on. Stupid, like throwing a plant at the TV. My mom's not crazy like that. She's just like, no, that's stupid. That was stupid when it was on. I'm just like, yeah, all TV is stupid. All TV is stupid. But these are the Buckmans. These are the Buckmans. Remember that dog that would chase nothing through the apartment and hit its head? Adorable. I do remember when Helen Hunt spins toothpaste on the back of Paul Reiser's head. That's like every highlight reel. I'm pretty sure it's in the intro when they're telling me why you do the things you do and tell me why you love me like you do. They say nobody's perfect, but it's really true this time. Spitting on the back of your neck and take me to the final frontier. It still makes me gag. The what's her face? The Sex and the City girl. I'm gonna say Miranda. They're all Miranda to me. I don't know any of their names. But the girl from Sex and the City, when she was dating Jerry on Seinfeld, when she was brushing her teeth with the toilet toothbrush, no matter how much I know that, they're definitely somebody, I'm going to say somebody, both Balky and Cousin Larry are in offices twice a week for sure going, I think it's time to reboot this wildly offensive racial stereotype of a made-up culture that, I mean, Borat? Or slash, hey, sorry guys, we already brought that back. It was Borat, and people are just going to expect you to say my wife, and then you're going to get sued. So, Mad About You goes by, and I'm just like, disappointing my family by liking TV. And then The Breakfast Club is coming on, and my mom goes like, ooh, like, I'd love to watch that movie. Like, we gotta leave, in a little while, or she has to get up and start getting ready to go. That it's like, I'm gonna miss all this movie, but I'd like to watch it. And she's like, well, like, what do I care? I'm just watching it. Like, we're going to a party at your relative's house 2 minutes away, and it's hours away. There's plenty of time, really. She's like, well, I'm going to start watching it anyway. And I'm like, this is a perfect movie. And I'm like, I think. And then it starts, and I'm like, pretty sure this is still a perfect movie. And I'm in my head, I was like, is it Robert Zemeckis? Who made this? Like, and then I think it was, or Ivan Reitman. Cannot remember. But I feel like I don't know, a bunch of names went by that I was like, oh, that was these guys that made this movie? Like, of course it's the best. But The Breakfast Club. John Hughes, there we go. But there was, aside from John Hughes, there was a bunch of other people involved. I'm like, oh my god, like, of course this is amazing. Like I think Harold Ramis had something to do with it. I don't even remember. But anyway, the I'm gonna say, like, the director of cinematography is amazing. Like, just the direction, like, every shot, like, from beginning to end, I'm just like, wow. Like, somebody, like, oh yeah, people used to storyboard movies. And this is just amazing. Every one of these shots not only, like, just looks good, but it really helps tell the story. It is very much like, oh yeah, like that How to Compose Shots book that I read. Like, this is this is what it's based on, is this movie right here. And early Spielberg's that were like, every shot was about telling a story, not about, showing how expensive we CGI'd something. In 100 seconds. I don't know anybody's names. Because I was still, like, just calling them, like, hey, the nerd guy. Was like, oh, I forgot how much I love that guy. Like, he was, like, from minute one, the way he acted, what he was doing. And again, just the shots when he's just, like, kind of being on his own at his desk. And it's really just him and the camera, but he doesn't know the camera's there. It was like, so good. But can never remember that guy's name. Emilio Estevez. Molly Ringwald is the other girl. Don't know the crazy girl's name for sure. And of course, the guy who I always think is Judd Hirsch, but Judd Hirsch is the guy from Taxi. Therefore, his name must be Judd Nelson. And and the Prince of Ali Sheedy. There we go. I know. I looked it up during the movie. Because I'm like, I don't know who that person is, even though I know she's in a bunch of stuff. And of course, like, we're all in love with her by the end of the movie, right? And the absolute funniest thing about that movie, like, again, other than, like, it's just great. It is really well put together. It does do that thing of like, hey everybody, I know we're all different, but we're all different in the same way about being different, and life is hard. She was the Short Circuit lady. Short Circuit just got a whole lot better. But we all know I could talk about Short Circuit for days. But yeah, like how they did it, like it was still very like Dawson's Creeky in the delivery of the dialogue, which often I'm not opposed to at all. I do enjoy when it's like, yes, if there's going to be teenagers in the movie, please have them played by 25 to 40-year-old people, like the way it used to be. That's what I'm into. That is my jam. Young people are disgusting and awful. But yeah, there was just so many shots that like so much came across in just like either very little dialogue or just in the framing of things, in the power of like the power struggle, especially between Emilio Estevez and Judd Nelson, was like I always thought this every time I watched it. Like Emilio Estevez doesn't look like a tough guy. Like he's playing the Jacques. He is playing le Jacques dans le Club de la Breakfast, the Petit Déjeuner. He's playing the jock, so a jock doesn't have to be a big giant guy, but the fact that he's like, hey, like he's so quick to step to Judd Nelson, who in my head is just like, isn't this the guy who like pulls a shotgun on Kill Bill, not Kill Bill, but The Bride on Uma Thurman, or whatever else he does? He just shows up and he is the kind of guy, / in this movie, like he pulls out a knife, and I'm so glad that the crazy girl took the knife or whatever. It's like I love that, and then it never really gets called up again because it's like, yeah, that's the kind of way, the kind of people the kind of person he is, and the kind of people that are in this situation. So it is just funny. / I absolutely keep getting it confused with when they start telling the reasons for being there. I'm like, I don't know the reasons for being there anymore, but I do know some reasons why somebody might be there. And Pacey, like, oh yeah, like that's why Dawson's Creek is the way it is. Dawson's Creek is created out of a love of this movie, so that there was a Breakfast Club episode of Dawson's Creek. Yeah, I saw most of the Dawson's Creek episodes at a certain point. Can't tell you a whole lot about them, but I saw a lot more than I wanted to when, those days before the internet was TV and TBS was TV, and TBS or whatever the channels were like, hey, are you home? Yeah, I'm home. Do you want to watch 16 episodes of Dawson's Creek? Like, no, not really. Oh, sorry, TBS. Yes, of course. 16 episodes of Dawson's Creek, please. Like, yeah. Do you want to watch 5 hours of Christmas Story in a row later on? Like, yeah, TBS, I do. Well, then you'll finish your Dawson's Creek, and then you can have your Christmas Story. Like, all right, I don't actually need either of these. Like, I could just sit and, or podcast the thing yet. Like, they are. Doesn't matter. Finish your Dawson's Creek. And yeah, like, that movie terrified, like, when I was a younger person, like, that movie terrified me anyway, because that is how I saw most people. Like, everybody seemed like the Judd Nelson of the school. Like, everybody. Even meeting Avocado Shakes Drake, her husband was just like, what's up with this guy? Like, is he the dangerous guy in the group? And no, he's a little nerd just like me, but it's still just like everybody seems like the Judd Nelson of the group, even a Drake. Ali Sheedy was in Roswell, I assume is why you're saying Roswell. Pretty sure I liked that show as well, but I think it was one of those shows that were like, hey, here's another X-Files show, like, awesome. Ooh, canceled before we got to the actual story, or, to the secrets. Like, no, you were leading up to something. Everybody's the dangerous guy. Space Goonie is the, if we go with the Space Goonie that I've made up here, Space Goonie's the gross one. So I guess she would be the weird girl. But in the case of where it's just like, what do you got in your lunch? Like, doesn't matter. I'm going to go, if I get diarrhea, I'm going to Walmart to take care of it, and the bathroom's there. That's just what I do. Because that's just what she does. But anyway, it also reminded me that I'm like, oh yeah, teachers are the worst. Teachers are kind of the worst. Actually, okay, I shouldn't say teachers. Older male teachers, there we go, are an abomination, and they should not be allowed to exist, maybe? Or higher standards or tests. I don't trust anybody in the world. I don't trust anybody in the world. You keep learning about people, and you're just like, oh, cool. Predator? You're a predator? Arrgh! Or just slash, power abuses and craziness like that. But seeing that guy and how he was, and he is just great. He's also like he's that same character in Die Hard as well. Where it's just like, hey, jurisdiction, somebody listen to me. You make one joke about somebody pooping their pants at Walmart, and you become the Walmart pants pooper. At least I keep putting you in the toilet. I'm not like, oh, Jenny goes to Walmart and poops in her pants. I'm like, when Jenny's like, oh, guys, I ate some crazy stuff this weekend. I just went to like a taco fest, and it's going to be taco fest in whatever toilet I go to this Tuesday night. And I know, as Jenny, I'm taking this out on a Walmart toilet. I'm not. Plumbing's expensive, and I'm not taking that chance with my own. So see you guys in 30 minutes to 3.5 hours. While I test Walmart's patience. But anyway, that movie reminded me, again, like I was a teacher for a minute and being around other teachers and realizing like, oh yeah. Some of you are quite the pile of garbage and you are taking advantage of the system right now. And that's just not cool. Nobody's cool. So at a certain point in the Breakfast Club, not to spoil anything, the teacher guy, principal, whatever he is like digging through the private records to like, I don't know, blackmail or just to be even more of a jerk to these students. Because, they're troublemakers, they're evil, they're bad, and he's, basically just wants to punish them. And then he ends up talking to the janitor who's like, what are you going to do? You're going to act like you're better than me? I come in here, I clean this place up, I know what's going on. Gross. They don't know that you're renting it. You just walk into the Walmart service counter and throw down 4 loonies, and you're just like, you know what this is for. Then you go into the bathroom for a while. You're disgusting. But yeah, so he's basically just like, the janitor starts blackmailing him, and eventually cuts back to the two of them like drinking beer, I believe, and just talking about that. Like, why did you become a teacher then? He's just like, you thought it was going to be cool. You thought it was going to be fun, didn't you? You'd have your summers off. You'd do this. You'd be a cool guy to these kids. And, you do cool things, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, but it's not that. It's not. He's like, no, the kids changed. And, this. He's like, no, the kids didn't change. He's like, you did. You used to be just like these little jerks. And that's the real truth. Like, whenever... or slash, getting off the subject of teachers are disgusting and gross. It's the that other thing of I don't know, like having the right having a reason for doing what you're doing, or recognizing that when something isn't fun anymore, it's okay. Like, a job doesn't have to be fun, but you also don't have to like become, especially in the case of like teachers or whatever, you don't have to try and become RoboCop. And it is like, what are you doing? Like, I'm the math teacher. Like, what are you doing out here? Like, some kids are truant and I'm gonna hunt them down. Okay, if you think that's your job. But then you're going to start to hate teaching when you're focusing so much on doing that stuff. And again, that same thing, like my problem in my life, being that idiot still, definitely comes up when, oh hey,
bunch of teenagers. Sounds like they're having a good time. They're having a loud good time. And I hate that and I wish they'd shut up. Oh, why are they just yelling something random for no reason? Or doing a Fortnite dance for no reason? Like, oh yeah, because they're having fun and they have their whole life ahead of them and they're not bitter about things. Let them enjoy things and walk away. Me, you, anybody just existing and being older in their vicinity is ruining their fun. You don't even have to say, quiet down over there, pugs. They can already feel it in your old existence. But anyway, Breakfast Club, still fantastic. Pretty much from beginning to end, except for the fact that in the end, not just one but two of the girls basically like end up with somebody. Like I could see like the Molly Ringwald and Judd Nelson thing. I was like, all right, like this is definitely what they're going for. Like this is kind of the whole crux of the movie. Like we are the most opposite. And if we come together in the end, then, does that not make our point? Like, yes, it does, Jonathan. It makes your point. But then the other one's just like, hey, Emilio Estevez, like, or it was just like, hey, I'm Emilio Estevez. I'm kind of getting famous now. I'm also getting a girl at the end of the movie. Like, fine, here, we'll have this one kiss you for what I can tell is zero reason whatsoever. Zero. Like, unacceptable. But that's how all movies had to end. Like, everybody has to be paired off by the end of an 80s movie, an 80s movie. Or else, nobody's going to see your movie. Exactly. Nobody likes playing foosball. It's just a competition to impress people so that you can take them home and make them play Mario Kart with you. So, the other thing, aside from talking about Mario Maker for 9 hours, not that, how can you have Mario Maker stories? You really can't, and I don't. But I'm just like, it's the best. Maybe I'll throw in a different game. Why? Why bother? You tired? Play Mario Maker. Oh, you're up and awake and you need to get some sleep? Play Mario Maker. You're sad? Play Mario Maker. Are you too happy? You need to be taken down a peg? Mario Maker. It's just the greatest thing in the world. But I'll save that for the Mario Maker streams that I'll do as often as I can. There's a level up / a video on YouTube of the other night. And I was just sitting around making levels on Mario Maker. And mostly just threatening that Space Goonie won't be able to get through them without any help. Because on my first real level, she was all like, oh, direct message, like, excuse me, maker of the level master. I can't seem to get the last key. What do I do? She was like typing tears forever. And I'm just like, oh yeah, no, you just jump up and drop that turtle shell. And And she's like, that's what I tried. I tried so hard. Like, oh my god, Space Goaty. Nobody cares. Just try harder. Or sometimes take the hit and then do it as a little small Mario, and you'll do it just fine. He's like, I don't even know if I ever want to play a Nintendo again. I'm giving up the whole thing. I was gonna ask somebody like you, actually, El Huapo. Do Mario Maker 1 levels work on Mario Maker 2? Like, they only took out a few things. They mostly just added stuff. So, you know, it's mostly just the costumes that don't work in 2. Like, I would be inclined to believe that, yeah, they should work. Like, they definitely should work. But there's a lot of backwards compatibility that just doesn't happen. Meanwhile, the first thing I noticed, I didn't buy anything from the online Nintendo store yet, because once you got Mario Maker, what else do you need? But yeah, they've got Mario 64 in there, so like I could be playing Mario 64 for like $4.99 or $6.99. I forget what it was. Like that's crazy. That's crazy. I've been waiting forever for them to release the Mini 64, and I could have. It's just right here. But then, you know, I got Cat Mario, 3D Mario Worlds, and I'm like, well, this is basically a much smoother, nicer version of Mario 64. Except, you know, there is still a certain magic about how Mario 64, you know, moves, dealing with the old camera. There's a certain charm to that. But anyway, well, that's good too. Is like I like doing this. This is my thing. This is my show. I hang out here with some characters you know. Like me, I'm a little penguin. I've come from a far-off land. Did I ever mention that I'm a scientist? And I shut up. Anyway, so yeah. Normally I do this show, and you know there'll be like a view or two on YouTube after the fact, or you know like 10 eventually to 16. And Mario Maker was like, oh hey, here's 16 views right away. Like what? That's how long it takes me to get views for. But wait, I like doing this, so this is a good thing. So yeah. I'm gonna keep doing Mario Maker again until, like I said, I convince the watchers of the Mario making decide to send me all their money, and I'll get a Switch, and I'll eventually level up to Mario Maker 2. Mario Maker 1, it's quite infinite. There's still new people playing and loading stuff every day. So it just never ends. Like the curse. I just said I'm not going to talk about Mario Maker forever, but I'm going to talk about Mario Maker forever. So let's not talk about Mario Maker for a minute. But yeah, I have made a few levels. I think Space Goonie is the world leader on most of those levels already. So yeah, that's why she's got to be taken down a peg for no real reason other than she's asking for it. So, in Crazy Story Land, as we've discussed before, every once in a while my brother will be like, hey, check out this thing on the internet. I'm like, what are people's lives? What are people's lives? So he sent me that guy, and I think I showed you some video on my phone of that guy. Like, he starts every stream dancing to Bad to the Bone. So he sends me one where the guy was like, oh, I gotta get my headphones in. So he puts his headphones in so you can hear like Bad to the Bone and now. And then he's grabbing at his crotch way too much and just doing kind of a really terrible really, really terrible dude stripper dance. That's terrible. I don't know who this is for. I don't know what's going on. I do know that he has way more viewers than me, but, you know, car wrecks get way more attention than pleasant fun times with cats and magic people. What about darkness and shadows? Do you catch more flies with darkness and shadows? Or do you still need somebody? Throat is way too dry for Batman. Way too dry for Batman. He looks probably mid-50s. There's definitely bandanas in his life. Usually a hat. And I think he's probably closer to my age. He's been a biker and stuff. I don't know. He's got a lot of crazy stories about being in jail. I can't stomach it for more than a minute. I showed it to Amanda, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that ended up on Facebook over here." So he sends me that video of him just like dancing to no music, and I'm like, "Oh, this guy, how is this happening?" And he'll like get right into the camera. He's like reading the stream text, which doesn't show up on a screen like mine does. And he's just like, I'm on the live. I'm on the live. Hey, guys, I'm on the live. Oh, okay. Of course you are. My eraser won't come out. All right, next eraser. So anyway... he always ends up yelling stuff like that. He just keeps repeating himself over and over and over again. So I'm like, okay, I feel bad when I say something or I'll lose track of what I'm doing. I'll focus on my drawing instead of talking. And I do repeat myself a bunch of times. And I worry about repeating myself a bunch of times. And so often I'm like, oh, if I repeat myself and I happen to scroll through my video, I'm like, I'm just repeating myself a bunch of times. And it just weighs on me when anybody repeats themselves a bunch of times. But for myself... I'm repeating myself a bunch of times. It's just so painful to like just think about myself repeating stuff a bunch of times. It's because it's so just mind-numbing and boring and painful. To just be there and just like, why? You're just repeating yourself a bunch of times. So he does that all the time. Except it's more like, bye. Like a bushwhacker. The 80s to 90s razzlers, not, people who... clear bush. So anyway, there's that video. And then just a few days ago, I think it was, maybe a few days before, doesn't matter. Orange dress, pinkish skin. See what's going on. See if we can win. So, my brother sends me a link. Like, check this out. Actually, no, this is to check this out. He's like, I can't even watch this myself anymore. He's like, but skip to minute 3 when he pulls a knife on somebody, and then skip to the very end when he pulls a knife on somebody. Like, this takes place in his own kitchen. Like, what? See you later, old Wapo. See you later forever. Hoping this doesn't make the black marker bleed. So I skip to minute 3. And, excuse me. Skip to minute 3. And he's just finished his dance. He sits down at the computer, looking at the monitor, like, hey, boys, here I am, boys. It's me, crazy face in my house and in the woods, or wherever he is. Bye. somebody, I believe, kind of knocks on the doors they come in, because, I mean, it's Cape Breton. People just wander in and out of people's homes. If somebody's not home, people go from window to window looking in each window, like, maybe they're there and they're just taking a nap and I should scream up them through a window. Like, no, knock twice and leave. Leave. Don't show up. So this guy walks in. Crazy guy pulls a knife from his belt, as he's had like 2 knives. I think he started by doing this for the longest time. He's got a bunch of little slash marks that have healed up, where he's obviously cut himself a bunch. And so yeah, a guy comes in 3 minutes into his stream. He jumps up, pulls the knife out. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? And the guy's like, it's me. Hey, like, how's it going? I'm like, oh, hey, sorry, buddy. Like, yeah, I know. Like, I'll pull a knife on you. Like, you had more than enough time to look at him and see who it was before pulling a knife on him. At this point, he's not in his kitchen anymore. He's in his living room. And I should say, I say living room. He's in a big, long, empty room. His front door seems to be right there. At the back of the room is a motorcycle. And I assume at the other end of the front of the room is a desk, something with the computer on it, I guess. I can't remember if there's any other furniture in there. Flags up on the walls. As you do. When everything's going great, you hang up flags on the walls. That's how you know your life is going the best, because you've got flags on the walls. If you're ever wondering if you need to go to therapy, take a look around. Do you have flags on the walls? Yes, go to therapy. So I skip to the end. He pulls the knife, like, sorry, bye, hey, bye. Go to the end. He's definitely just off, out of his mind. Oh, yeah. He was in the middle of throating his knife, as he often does, before the other guy came in. Oh, fun, wonderful people. So, at the end, he goes down to the back of the living room. He opens the front door, so the door is wide open. Because, you don't want to keep all the windows and doors closed if you're going to start up your motorcycle in your living room and make all of the smoke. Like, just peel rubber, do a burnout, whatever he's doing. He's just for, like, the longest time until it's just, like, just smoke. Like, the place is just filled with smoke, with exhaust, with whatever. How most people would consider that, like, you're trying to kill yourself, right? Like, you're actually trying to kill yourself. This is a suicide attempt to most people, but you're like, hey, we're live. That's what I call a burnout. That's how you do a burnout, blah, blah, blah. Like, just very proud of himself. Crazy proud of how good he is at revving his motorcycle engine indoors. Because, it takes a lot of skill to do that. Like, so much skill. So he's just, like, cranking on that for a minute. He stops. He gets off his bike. I believe he shuts it off. He heads back over towards his computer. I don't think he quite makes it to his computer. And then a cop walks in, because the door is wide open. The cop walks in, like, says his name, like, hey, Malky, what are you doing? And as friendly as can be, just like, hey, clearly I'm here all the time. Like, buddy, we gotta calm it down a notch. What are we gonna do? He immediately just pulls his knife out, just like, what are you doing here? Like put the knife down. Or I don't even know if he even says anything. It's just like Malky, like, what's going on here? He drops the knife, hands up in the air, just like, whoa, like, sorry, like, you got me on nothing kind of thing. Like, you just pulled a knife on a cop. This is amazing. So the most amazing part is where his concern lies at this point in the video. He, like, turns to the camera like, oh, like, I'm on the, I'm on live. I'm live now. My live is on. Like the live is on. I'm streaming. I don't think he says streaming for some reason. I feel like he keeps saying like my live is on. And I'm just like, what is happening? And the cops are like, that can't be on. Like, you got to turn that off. Like, no! And it's like, he's going to his computer. The cops are going to the computer. Cop is going to the computer to shut it down. And it's very just Blair Witch standard movie style. Just like, hey, no, don't turn it off. I'm turning it off. And it goes to black where it's just like, this might have erupted into a tussle. Slash, I guess, once again, that rehab video did not go as well as he intended, I guess. But anyway, it's just like there's definitely lots of people watching, lots of people inciting things. You can call him. You can just call him, aside from the texting and scaring him and whatever. I guess my brother called him. I didn't see it. I didn't go hunting for it for sure. If he finds it and sends it to me, of course I'll watch it. God knows what he said. My brother does like being a bit of a troll. But yeah, it's just like, yeah, I called in, like, awesome. Meanwhile, I know for a fact that nobody in my family watches this thing that I do because I mostly talk about being in Truro. Hey, I'm in Truro. It's Truro. There's like Truro stickers in the background here. I mean, the camera is a little bit in the way. But, I never not mention that Truro. That's the thing I repeat all the time. And my family's like, hey, it's like, so where do you live now? Are you in Truro? Did you move to Truro somewhere? Are you in Dartmouth now or something? Like, no. But it's fine. Why would they want to watch this? This has nothing, again. You can like your Paul Reiser, or I can like my Paul Reiser, and you can like Big Bang Theory instead. It's fine. There's a billion shows. There's all the content. Everybody gets to pick their own. Alright, deadly afraid to add water to this. So that was that video fun. His streams are like hours and hours long now, so I can't compete with that. I have a job to do. I have things in the real world to do. I'm just not stabby enough to stream for 5 hours a day. What were my other notes? There's definitely some crazy stuff, but we'll stream again, of course. There's always more things. But speaking of Amanda and my news of the Cape Breton world, I don't know if this is going to work the way I think it will. So Amanda's just like telling me some stories. We're going through all of our stories as we do. And she's like, oh, like whatever. Jimmy Jansen, like, I don't know any of these people. I didn't even know you when I lived here. But yeah, it's like whoever she said, I already forget now. But it was like, I know that I've heard this name before. And I know it was most likely in relation to wrestling and him being a wrestler. So there is some like local wrestling going on. Amanda runs into Body Slam Johnson, we'll call him. And he's like, oh, hey, Amanda, you should come by the wrestling tonight. There's wrestling tonight. The kids will love it. And she's like, oh my God, like the kids would love this. I should come by. Duke. His name was Duke. So she's like, yeah, of course. Duke, the kids will love this. I'll bring the kids to the wrestling. And she gets to the wrestling, and like any normal parent would think, and I immediately flash back to any time my dad took us to stuff in my head of just like, oh yeah, like, kids are expensive and they're awful. But yeah, just like, yeah, like one adult and two children, and then a guy just being like, all right, 3 tickets then? Like, no, I'm an adult and these are 2 babies? Like, yeah, 3 tickets, that'll be all the money. Gary Jessam. Okay, yes, I do know that name. Like, yeah, he used to be all over the place. Everybody said that guy's name. And then he was wrestling. So, Gary, the Duke of Wrestling, said you should get there. Amanda gets there. She's like, past the point of no return. The kids are jazzed. Got to take them to see the thing. They're definitely going to love this or be horrified because, kids, you never know. If my dad had ever taken me to the monster trucks, like I begged and begged and begged, he would have been so very right, and I would not have liked it, and he would have wasted that money, and I would have begged to go home the entire time. So anyway, I do have this written down, but if I get it wrong, Pinamander can correct me. But during the wrestling match, because they knew who Duke was and they were fully on his side, and the evil twin that Amanda has, she's got a good twin and an evil twin, and I'm fine with that. If they grow up thinking I think that is completely fine. I think that she will be aware that she is the evil twin, and she will own that as well as she can. But I say evil twin, she's still my favorite. No, they're both favorite. They're both good kids. I'm not a monster. I'm a bit of a monster. So she's cheering. Like, get him. I believe in you with all of my heart that you can win. Like, that is the greatest thing to ever cheer, especially at a wrestling event. And then the boy twin. I don't know why I have a weird thing. It was like, I don't want to say children's names on the internet. Like, you should know. It's none of your business, internet. Don't be hunting down these kids. And he's just like, whatever. Get him, you pooped out, poop head, etc. But yeah, just the I believe in you with all of my heart. Just like, I have to write this down. And I wrote it down either on the way home or before I left the driveway. I was like, that is great. Like, I hate kids and they're awful, but every once in a while, they do say the darndest things. Whoa. Jeremiah Scalia. Can't see that from here. Thanks, Jeremiah. Those kids love me. And I've seen them so rarely. That's how you make kids love you. You don't see them that much. And you draw pictures for them. The end. That's all they care about. That's all they care about. Yeah, they were asking about me, I guess. Just like, oh, like, is Curtis coming to visit? Like, yep. And they went over to their grandmother's while I was there. And then they stayed there. So it was like, I'll come back later, I guess. But it was like, I'm already gone back home. But then realizing, it's good to go home and feel like you won, like you're the best. The other way I'm the best, this just flashed into my head as well, is, let's just match to the dress. So also Amanda has a little cat. Again, if you follow on Instagram, you can see that cat from my Christmas pictures. It is Peach, the little Siamese cat. And I assumed from day one, like, this is a giant mistake, and this is crazy. Like, this cat is going to be terrible. It's going to be terrible. You don't need to keep getting terrible cats just because people in your family had terrible cats and you're trying to uphold the legacy of having terrible cats, but whatever. Torture yourself some more with a terrible cat. And this cat is nothing like how it should be. It is just super nice. And I don't know, it was just like everywhere I was from the time I got there till the time I left. If I went to the bathroom and came out of the bathroom, it was like sitting there by the door every single time. Just mostly just kind of right at my leg all the time. Loving it. I go to leave, and I'm at the door, and the cat is like by me at the doorway. Just like, not even like I'm waiting for the door to open, I'm out of here. Not like, what's this guy doing here? Like, if he leaves, am I going to get fed? He's just like sitting there, or she's just like sitting there, just like, so now what? Like, I guess you're putting shoes on? Like, whatever. What are we going to do next? And Amanda's like, that's the end of this, cat. Like, you're not getting that kind of attention from me. Because as long as the cat, like, came and snuggled up, and it's like, I'm just going to pet it or whatever, right? So, you know, it got to live like royalty for a little bit in the petting department anyway. So then I left. And then, whatever it was, a day or two later, Amanda's like, yep, so my cat's ruined. Like, what? She hates me now. What? Yeah, ever since you left, she just went downstairs and won't come up. She doesn't come up for food. She doesn't come up when I call her, like, with their special call for treats or whatever it is. She doesn't care. She's just, yeah, whatever. I'll be in the basement till that guy comes back. No use for any of you jerks. And, you know, if you know anything about me, that's my jam. That's my jam. That's how I like every room to be left when I leave. What went on in there? Doesn't matter. All I know is I'm not in there anymore, and devastation ensues. And that's why I left the house today. That's what I can guarantee you. 3 solid days of hate from your animals. Like, same thing when I left my house, and the dog was just like, you know, Futuramaing by the door for a few days, just like, when's he coming back? What's going on? Like, why have you ruined my life? And just hating Tara. You know, and then I would, you know, come back and see him, and then every time I would, like, drop him off or whatever, like, all right then, like, see you never, buddy. See you never. And then same deal, just like back by the door waiting, like, what's going on? Why did you just drop me off and leave again? Because you're a dog. Because you're a dog. Get out of here. But yeah, that's what I do. When I leave, I want your children to be like, Mommy, you suck, Mommy. You're nothing, Bobby. We just met somebody cool. A dumb, childish nerd on our level, Mommy. You're all about, let's go eat healthy food, Mommy. Go to education school. No deal, Mommy. No deal. Now, I'm also a weird jerk that's just like trying to convince your kids, like, hey, why don't you go eat some broccoli? Why did you just say that? I don't know. I'm being a jerk, but by saying healthy things. So technically I win. Technically I win. That's kind of a fun game to play. Just mean compliments. It's like you get to get some of your rage out, but then you also get to say mean, you know, nice things. You make people feel good and bad at the same time. It's a real game changer in the psychological warfare game. Even better if you get your hands on some pie. the really good pie that people are like, oh, that's a good pie. And then you're just like, hey, have this pie. Also, you're really great, and I don't even feel bad about that time that you basically ruined my life. When you're right, you're right. Especially again, like bad neighbors, weird people, like, here's a present. Here's a present. Yeah, no, I've seen that you've made no effort to deal with that thing I need you to deal with, that you said you were going to deal with. Here's a prize. You just won. Why? Because that's how life works. The less you do and the worse you do with those things, the more you're just like, here you go, and here's a reward. And then here's a reward. Sorry, don't mean to scare the cat. But, you know, that's... Life is but a dream, as they say. My nose is starting to run so bad. I better not be getting a cold. This better just be leftover being out in the snow. Snots. But anyway, throw an outline on this. Yeah, I'll just save whatever other notes are over there for next time, but why can't I think about anything except Mario Maker? Well, when I got home from Christmas is basically like every year I do this. Every time I have even, you know, a half a day off, I'm like, okay, here are the projects I'm going to do. Oh my God. It's never enough. A, that time doesn't exist, and B, it's never enough time for the project I have in my head. But this time I'm like, okay, I've got like literally a list of things that I wanted to do. And I don't even know why I thought there'd be some time. But you know, driving to Cape Breton, driving back from Cape Breton, spending a few days there, visiting, like I'm not doing anything artsy or whatever, while I'm not at home. And then get home and I'm just like, well, first day is, I'm not doing anything. I just drove all day. This is exhausting. And then the next 2 days are pretty much just like, I feel like garbage. Like, I feel like I'm having a full, like, just hangover all the time now. What's going on? And I was like, oh, yeah, it's just, like, a weird sugar hangover. Like, I've just eaten all of the things, plus pop and candy and whatever, for, like, 4 days straight. And I just don't ever really do that. Oh, couch potato. That's not how the internet's supposed to work. Also, you're a robot. So yeah, I was just like, oh yeah, all that stuff I ate. Like, I'm just in a full food hangover. But before I left, I went over to my aunt's on my way out of town. So I left a picture of another set of twins that are like, here, every year, here's a picture of the twins for the Christmas tree. Like, all right, thanks. And I forgot it over there. So stopped in there, and she gave me some meatballs, and I'm like, oh, these are the best meatballs. I gotta take some more. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna eat all of these meatballs. I'm already so full of spicy meatballs. And like, well, I'm not going to stay too long. I'm going to get out of here. Don't want to be driving if the snow starts or it gets dark or what have you. And their other friends come in that, you know, I definitely met before. Only seem vaguely familiar. But guy's like, like I brought some donuts for you, and he had like a bag of homemade donuts for Bob. And Bob was like, "Oh my god, those are good, so good. Like I tried to make them like you. What do you use? What do you this? What do you that?" And he's like, "Oh no, like I fry these in lard. Like that's why they're the best. Like these are the least healthiest thing for you in the world." They're like, "Oh, do you want a butter tart? Do you want this?" Like, "No, I don't want anything." I'm like, "Well, there's that fruit basket Jody bought up. Like, oh, actually, I think I will have an apple. Like, I definitely should do this." And I'm sitting there eating an apple. Meanwhile, this diabetic guy is eating pastries. I was just like, this is insane. He's the one who made the donuts. But they're going on and on. These donuts, these donuts, these donuts. And I'm like, yep, that's great. Like, well, you got, do you want one? Like, he just said they're frozen. Like, I'm not gonna sit here eating a frozen donut or waiting for donuts to thaw out or whatever. Like, it's fine. These are Bob's special donuts. I'm not taking it of Bob's donuts. And just you even mentioning this, I can see his "don't take my donut" sense is going off. The man's just like, no, like take some with you. Just take some with you at least. I was like, well, you guys have been going on about them for so long. Of course I'm gonna have to take some of these donuts. I'll take at least one. Like throw one in a bag. I'll let it thaw out. I'll eat it when I get home or on the road at some point. Like yeah, give me a donut. Like a donut? Like don't be crazy. Like you're gonna get me stabbed. Like Bob is gonna become the shooter of town if I take all of his donuts. Are you crazy? Don't be crazy. I was like, fine, like whatever. Like 2 donuts. Give me 2 donuts, and that's more than enough. That is fine. I don't want to take, like, these donuts just came 5 hours, and they've, there's a lot of work and effort into these donuts. Don't. Like, all right, I'll give you a few, like 3 donuts. I'll put 3 donuts. Like, yep, that's fine. And once it was an official answer, like 3 donuts is leaving this freezer before Bob has even had one. What? 3? 3 is just like, I'll take 2. I'll just take 2 or 1. Honestly, I don't need any. Like, no, it's fine. Like 3. Oh my god. And I mean, it's partial joking, but still, it's just like, that's not an infinite bag of donuts. I'm gonna have to wait till next Christmas to get these, or / I'm gonna have to get a big deep fryer, fill it with lard, and make these donuts myself, which he's definitely gonna do, because he's one of those people that I'll learn how to do this and make it myself. At the moment, he's making these unbelievable birdhouses that look like just different buildings from around the world that are amazing. Some of them even have like patio furniture. Amazing. Such like, but whatever. That's the kind of person he is. He makes amazing stuff. And I took his donuts and I ate them, and I'm like, well, they're already thawed out. Oh, Lee won. That was really good. What am I going to do? Wait for this to get stale? I mean, you want it to be at optimum donut eating level, right? 2 donuts. I mean, 2 lard donuts after eating all the other stuff, right? Probably going to wash this down with some chips and some more pop because there's still some pop left. My mom sent me here, take some pop. I don't need to take pop. Oh, well then take some juice. That's your juice for the morning. Just have your juice. No, there's more. It's fine. I will get juice. I have juice in my own fridge. I don't need to take a carton of orange juice. That's nuts. I'm going to take some pop. Okay, and I was just like, I got a bottle of Sprite in here for no reason other than to drink it. I'm going to drink it. My stomach is going to hurt. Oh, everything's going to hurt. So anyway, this is tonight's Sexy Dinosaur. I ate all the donuts amongst all the other things, and my stomach hurt. I just had a headache for so long. I was just like, should I go get more candy? I feel like I should get more candy. And I know I shouldn't. I should just go get a bunch of salad. And I was eating some salad and eating some soup as if I was sick. But I'm just like, it's just so much sugar. Oh, God. Why did I stop at that steak place on the way home? Because it's the greatest. That's why. Because it's the greatest. But anyway, as per usual, every Tuesday, I'm here doing the Storytime Drawing Something show and hanging out, like I said, with the characters that you know. And every other day of the week, if I don't overwork myself at work, and I'm just like, all right, work is over, and when the working day is through, it's time to play Mario Maker for you. Just want to play Mario Maker for you. That's all I really want, is some Mario Maker. Lou Albano. Why don't you just let me play Mario Maker? So yeah, I'm not even going to schedule it. It is just like check your local listings, follow No Such Thing as Grown Ups on Instagram. I'll always post there at least right before or as I'm going online, if not, a few hours before, of just, hey, gonna play some Mario Maker. Time to play some Mario Maker. Or I'll realize I've been playing Mario Maker for 10 minutes. I'm not gonna put this down. Let's play it with everyone else. I like playing the levels. I find it very hard to end on not a great level, and I like making levels. And yeah, I'm probably still gonna load up some Mario Maker before I go to sleep. And yeah, no, I think I'm recording a podcast tomorrow. But yeah, some other day of the week, we will make some more Marios. Do 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 la 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 Mario, make it stuff and then here you go. Do a level and blow on your controller to make him spin or something, or to make the thing thrive. That's from 3D Mario, so never mind. I've run out of steam. Yeah. Mostly I'm just doing that because it's way easier to do stuffed up nose voice for him than to not do it for myself right now. Seriously need to blow my nose. Anyway, good night everybody. Have a great night and a great week. See you next Tuesday and some other time to play some Nintendos and or some countdown word games. But yeah, that's plenty. That is plenty. Avocado cakes. Avocado cakes. You can change your name to Avocado cakes. Ripley. Hey, sweetest angel, you want to wrap this up? You want to press the credits button so I can go blow my nose? Yeah, thanks. You're the sweetest angel of the whole world. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching, as always. Credits. Music. Ending credits. List of people and some stuff. Hey, Mike White's getting married. I might have a complete exit here. Bow, wow, 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 wow. Guests to No Such Thing as Grown-Ups. Of course, use Hertz Rent-A-Car. Hertz Rent-A-Car gets you where you want to go when you want to go there. And if you want to specify a car, let me tell you, you're not going to get the car you specify. Not with any rental car place, no matter how much our commercials lie to your face. Hertz Rent-A-Car. It could also be at a hotel if you play your cards right. Hertz Rent-A-Car. It's like the donuts, except it's a car.